So what personally shocked you about the cyclone?
Personally, me, I was not affected like others have been affected. And we've been going to some of the community meetings, and I've been upfront about that. That it's difficult for me to appreciate how they feel personally affected. These are people who have lost their homes, their incomes, who have been severely impacted in terms of their well-being. So for me, it's been able to see what the devastation has caused. And so I've gone out and had a look at that. It's been able to listen to people and what they're recounting and telling us about their experiences that early morning, trying to escape from their homes, trying to take their children and family to safety, trying to get up onto roofs so that they can be helicoptered out. So for me, probably, it's not so much about being shocked by it, but my greatest concern has been listening to other people and their stories and the impact it's had on them.
So talking about stop banks, much has been made of them and how effective or ineffective they were in parts. Was it a failure? Did the stock banks fail?
The stop banks were built for 1 in 100 probability. And there was one section down there at Tamatea and behind Pettigrew. That last year, at some cost, we were grateful for Kainoa funding, that we were able to build that to 1 in 500. That survived. If it had breached, we would have had flooding coming through here into Napier. So there's a distinction between the stop banks that existed and have been there for many decades, which were built for 1 in 100. That was probability based around, we understand what that means. Where we need to get to in terms of greater security and protection for people is to get those back up to 1 in 500. We will need central government support for that.
And do you think you will get that?
Well, I can't say really, but we're working very closely with the Recovery Agency. So our minister, our new minister, in terms of recovery, is Meka Whaitiri. And we're working with Sir Brian Roche as part of the task force and working with our Matariki governance group, who are looking at locally led, regionally enabled.
So one of your officials said that a digger contractor was on his way to one of the stop banks on the morning. And was it your intention for a section of the stop bank to be removed? Because that did create quite a bit of upset at a Pakawhā meeting.
I think what concerned us at the Pakawhā meeting were the allegations that we'd blown part of the stop bank.
Did you?
That was totally incorrect.
What were those noises then?
The noises?
That the people reported hearing all over the afternoon?
Well, I think there are people out there who report facts and there are people out there who don't. We did not blow any stop banks, categorically.
Okay.
But there was a certain part, and I think Chris, our General Manager of Infrastructure, he indicated there was one part there that they considered, which was an opening that was to allow water out. That would be controlled. It never eventuated.
Because it had already gone over by the time that...
I'm not sure about that. But
well, that's what came up at the meeting, yeah.
But the plan and the intention that Chris had referred to at Pakawhā that night never eventuated.
So where would that water have gone?
I don't know.
Into Pakawhā or?
We really need to have Chris back here to be able to answer that. I can't answer that.
All right, because they got quite agitated and at that meeting about the council not warning them that they should evacuate. Were there options to evacuate people?
I think there were certainly some options based on the forecasting on the 13th, the day before. And for some of those, we were able to sort of get that out. Now, unless you have a declared state of emergency, there are no powers to actually evacuate people, and that's using police and other first responders. So there was no state of declaration on the 13th. What we did was said to people, look, it's significant what might be coming this way, and people voluntarily decided to actually evacuate. A good example is Hawke College. We had 48 young ladies in there who chose to evacuate, as were other areas up in that area around Waipātiki. Some of those chose to, some didn't, but we couldn't force them to evacuate.